Alright, what's going on, everybody? I hope that your holidays were wonderful, and I also hope that your 2021 ends up being 2 times as better, that makes a whole lot of sense, as your 2020 was. At the end of this video, there's going to be a clip, and I will put the timestamp up on the screen right now. A clip of my Twitch chat abusing my channel points and basically forcing me to shout out my sponsor 14 times in a row, back to back, and it's pretty fucking funny. It's entertaining as shit. I think it's hilarious. So I'm going to put that clip at the end of this video. If you guys want to, go check that out. I'll leave the timestamp up there. If you don't want to listen to the entire rant just to get there, you can go watch that. Like the little 3.5 minute clip. And then if you do want to watch, the rant, then you're more than welcome to. Today, I'm going to be talking about a game by the name of MXGP 2020. I personally love Milestone. I'm a huge Milestone fanboy, and I love most of the games that they end up creating, even though I'm kind of garbage at the MESX games. So the MXGP games has been one of my favorite game series pretty much ever since I played MXGP 2, because I guess the timeline was MXGP, MXGP 2, MXGP 3, MXGP Pro, and then they went to the yearly cycle, which they're on now, which was started with MXGP 2019 and now MXGP 2020. Milestone is actually under a contract with a company or entertainment company. I'm not really entirely sure what they're considered as, I guess. By the name of Feld Entertainment, which requires them to release 2 games a year. So they release an MXGP title a year, and they release a Monster Energy Supercross title every year. And the Monster Energy Supercross games only have 3 installments at the moment. They have MESX, MESX2, and MESX3. And if you didn't know, MESX is the acronym for Monster Energy Supercross. So basically, I'm here to talk about my thoughts and my opinions on the game. And you're going to have to bear with me because the gameplay in the background was, for one, the entire lobby that I was in had a hard-on for the tracks that I had never played in the game so far. And then the one time we did play a track that I knew and I had played and I understood, I basically just rode like ass. So if you think that I ride like cheeks, add me on Steam, motherfucker. 1v1 me on Locat. I'll run your shit. No, I'm kidding. Actually, you can add me on Steam and play with me if you want. My Steam name I will put up on the screen right now. But personally, let's start with my first impressions of the game. My first impressions of the game was that it was okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't my favorite. It wasn't bad per se. Basically, from what I noticed and I understood what they were trying to do is they tried to make the physics of the game kind of a mix between Monster Energy Supercross 3 and MXGP 2019. So that in itself was kind of a big project, I guess you could say, and like kind of a big deal because it's kind of hard to mesh 2 games physics engines like that together. And I feel like they did an okay job. It wasn't great. Their physics aren't awesome. I mean, it's not horrible. It's not like unplayable, And I see a lot of people in in groups and community pages and stuff like that complaining about how this game is hot garbage, totally not worth it. If you want an MXGP game, go buy MXGP 2019. Don't even fucking bother with this game. It's hot garbage. Milestone won't respond to us. And you got to realize, Milestone can't respond to all of us. There's a lot of us that play this game. I mean, definitely not like, it doesn't have a huge player base like, say like Call of Duty or Battlefield or, like Skyrim or fucking like Bethesda games like Fallout, Cyberpunk, shit like that. Cyberpunk was CD Projekt Red. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm trying to talk really fast, okay? So basically, my first impressions of the game, it was okay. It wasn't, a Widowmaker. It wasn't anything spectacular, Like, I get hyped for these games every single year. The MESX games, I don't get as hyped for, but I still buy them and I still play them because that's what my friends play. My friends are really good at that game, and, I'm not going to try and be that guy that's like, oh, yeah, no, we need to go play MXGP. Those are the only games that I'm good at, man. Like, we can't be playing Monster Energy Supercross. I'm hot fucking garbage. But yeah, no, I'm not going to try and I'm not here to ruin everybody else's fun, and I do give those games a chance, and, I give myself, I guess, a chance to not suck at them. And most of the time it doesn't work out because I'm hot garbage at the MESX games. But the MXGP games, I've always had a lot of fun with, and I've always been fairly decent at, especially MXGP 2019. MXGP 2019 was the first MXGP game that I played where I felt like I was a fucking monster, dude. A fucking force to be reckoned with. You get in my lobby, and you are getting pub stomped into another fucking dimension, dude. Like, I'm literally going to go to your house on an imaginary dirt bike, and I'm going to pimp slap every fucking member of your family, and then run your fade right in front of you. That's what that game made me feel like. I felt like a fucking god amongst men on that game, and I loved it. Now, don't get me wrong, I wasn't exactly the fastest guy on that game. During the championship that I was a part of, the DMR championship for MXGP 2019, which was the first championship I had ever joined, I was mediocre. I was kind of ass, if I'm being honest. I wasn't that great. But the more and more I played the game, I got better and better and better, and then eventually, after the whole series was over, I was still playing the game with friends, and I would just fucking destroy everyone in public lobbies, dude. It made me feel so fucking good, dude. I loved that game. So then MXGP 2020 comes out, and I go right, it literally feels like I'm playing a Supercross game. I'm slow as fuck. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't understand any of the tracks because they did change the tracks just a little bit, enough to throw me off, but not enough to make the tracks like an entirely new experience, you know what I mean? Like, they weren't something that I hadn't seen before. It was just, they were different in such a slight way that it made it hard for me to kind of grasp what was going on. And, I kind of like little changes like that, and I was playing it in front of my girlfriend shortly after I got it. And she even pointed out to me, she was like, what game is this? And I was like, the new one that I just bought. And she was like, it looks exactly like the old one that you used to play. That you were playing, fucking a few months ago. And I basically had to explain to her, like, yes, they are similar games and they are going to look similar, but there is a lot that is different with the game. Customization, bike choices, track changes, physics changes, fucking track deformation, even though that's a huge gripe by the community that they want more track deformation for, better ruts and stuff like that. But you gotta understand, this is an arcade game, man. This isn't a fucking sim game. This isn't MX Sim. This isn't MX Bikes. You know what I mean? Like, imagine the MX vs. ATV games, like those people, like they have a cult fucking following for MX vs. ATV Reflex. Imagine those guys playing like, MX vs. ATV All Out and getting so fucking pissed that they're trying to like boycott the fucking company that makes them just because there's not track deformation, just because there's not ruts that they like. Dude, that game doesn't have ruts. I've played MX vs. ATV All Out, and I didn't play Reflex, okay? So I can't say that I've experienced everything that everybody's like talking about, like everything that everybody's like, saying is the greatest MX game of all time. I didn't ever get to play it, okay? And, maybe one of these days I'll buy it and I'll make a video on it or something, you know what I mean? But right now, I've played MX vs. ATV All Out, right? And I played MX vs. ATV Supercross and Supercross Encore, which were basically the same games, just with minor, changes or whatever. It was basically just like a reskin, you know what I mean? And I played those games. They don't have ruts, dude. They don't have track deformation. They don't have fucking, spots on the track where you can just fucking rail that, the rut in the corner and just fucking get hella traction and take the fuck off like a fucking rocket ship from SpaceX, you know what I mean? They don't have that shit, but that community is still like super into their games and super invested, you know what I mean? And they're not under a contract that requires them to release 2 games a year. You know what I mean? So it doesn't make sense to me that all the people that I started my championship days, I guess, of playing championships and, started playing these games on PC, all the people that I started with on PC for these games, they're all like, oh, Supercross are the only games that are worth it anymore. You know, the Supercross games are the only ones that are even halfway decent. MXGP's washed out. MXGP's trash. You realize that the Supercross games are still reskins, right? You realize that the Supercross games are basically like almost the same. There are still differences, yes, same as MXGP, but they're still very, very, very similar. So I don't get why the community is just attacking Milestone because of this release. You do realize that COVID-19 was a huge fucking thing in 2020, and Milestone is an Italian fucking company. Italy arguably got hit the hardest by COVID. Of course the game's not going to be up to the fucking standards that everybody wants it to be, because they probably had to work 90% of it from home. You get that? Like, I get that there's missing content, okay? So let me explain this real quick, okay? So in the game, they have two different Honda 450s. They got the Honda 450R, the CRF 450R, and they got the CRF 450RW. The RW, I guess, from my understanding, is basically like the 2021 model of Honda. And then they also introduced the Gas bikes, because Gas has a those bikes now have a team in the MXGP series, and now also American Supercross series. They have the Troy Lee Designs Gas team. So Troy Lee Designs KTM switched over to Gas basically. So they added the Gas bikes. They added a new like two-stroke company named like Fanatic, something like that, something along those lines. I don't know. I haven't ridden the bikes in the game yet. And they have the 2021 model of the CRF 450 RW. The RW and the 250 four-stroke version of the Gas both have a lot of missing content. You can't put any exhausts on them. They hardly have any graphics. At least the Gas has graphics. The RW, the CRF 450, CRF 450 RW. There we go. I finally fucking got it out of my goddamn mouth. That one, you can't put any exhausts on it, and it has no graphics kits. And the exhaust is arguably the most important part that you can put on any of the bikes in any of the Milestone games. They give you more power, they give you more acceleration, and they're just literally the one upgrade that if you have enough money to buy that or like suspension, 90% of the time you're gonna go with the exhaust, because it gives you more power. Yeah, you can deal with the stock suspension for a little while. That's no big fucking deal. You know what I mean? So I get that there's this missing content, right? And there's also a lack of content in the customization department as far as like riders go. At least that's what I noticed. It seemed like there was a lot less content when it comes to rider customization in this game. In my opinion, and I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong, but in my opinion, Milestone's under this contract to release 2 games a year. They already released the Supercross game, which was MESX 3, and I believe that was in February. And they had to get the MXGP game out before 2020 ended, because they're under this contract, which gave them the money to be able to work on the games. So they released this game after COVID had basically delayed a fuck ton of their work processes. And so they released the game, and they're like, yes, it's not in a polished state. It's not a great game right now. It's not like gonna blow people away. You know what I mean? But I guarantee to you, nobody liked GP19 when it came out. MXGP19. Nobody really enjoyed it, from my understanding, and myself included. I kind of had the same feelings that I have about GP 2020. Like, it's okay, but it's not that great. You know what I mean? And after update, you know what I mean, for the whole year that MXGP 2019 was out, that is probably by far my favorite fucking MXGP game. 100%. Like, MXGP 3 is a close second, right? But MXGP 2019 takes the fucking cake by a landslide, because I love that game, okay? And I feel like that's going to be the same story with MXGP 2020. Yes, the ground physics are kind of fucky, right? Like, you go into a corner, if you use your rider lean, like, at all, if you're, I guess, quote-unquote, going too slow, it's going to fucking make it seem like your rear tire hits a fucking cinder block underneath the dirt and ruin all of your momentum, and you're fucked, basically, right? So the ground physics aren't that great, right? The bike sounds, you know, they're kind of They're not fucking, they're gonna blow you away. Arguably, I'd say the Cowie probably sounds the best out of all the bikes. right? The customization, you know, they've got customization issues going on right now. Like, the game's just not in a polished state. And so, in my opinion, I feel like the game is going to get a lot of updates, and it's going to take a while, right? Because COVID's still kind of a thing, and I don't really know. I haven't looked into whether Italy is still under like a major lockdown or not. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? So, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, Milestone is going to start releasing updates to kind of try and polish the systems and the features that they didn't really get to work on too much, right? And they're going to try and polish those features a little bit. And as well as doing that, I feel like the missing customization content, i.e. like the exhausts on certain bikes, the graphics kits, and the rider customization and whatnot, whatever they didn't finish for that, I feel like they're going to slowly trickle in once they finish it with those updates that are also going to try and, better the way the game plays. Excuse me, the way the game plays, right? So that's my opinion. I feel like they're going to slowly trickle in all of the things that they weren't able to finish into these updates. And the updates, in my opinion, I feel like are probably going to be to try and fix the main gripes with the game. Like Xbox and PS4 players, the people who don't have the newest gen of consoles, right? I play on PC, so I've never really experienced this issue, but I guess Xbox One and PS4 players are having a huge issue where if it's raining during a race, it basically drops your frames so bad that the entire race turns into slow motion Modo. It lags your frames that bad, and basically makes it feel like the game's unplayable. So I understand why people are upset. But what I don't understand is why people aren't going to, give them time to right the wrongs and fix the mistakes. They're automatically jumping to the conclusion that, Milestone's washed up, Milestone's releasing half-assed games, Milestone this, Milestone that, they're a bunch of fucking trash lords, or whatever the fuck it is you want to say, right? So I don't understand why the community can't just give them a little time to fix it, right? And I understand, where people are coming from, where they're saying that, Milestone's not listening to us. And that's because they're probably already aware of all the issues and probably trying to fix them. They don't really have time to go on fucking Facebook or some fucking MXGP, the video game forums or some shit, and look at all the gripes that people are having. Trust me, they're hearing about it. They are 100% hearing about it. I guarantee you that. Because there are so many of us that are upset about the state of the game right now. Why is the community throwing so much hate their direction? I guarantee you they're not going to update the game one fucking time to add the track editor and the 2 missing tracks that were in the game and then just fucking forget about it. That's not the way that game developers do things. They're not going to fucking abandon us. They're not going to abandon the game. Yeah, they probably have another team that's already working on Supercross 4 and that's scheduled to release, I believe, in March. But they're not going to fucking forget about us, guys. They're not going to forget about this game. I guarantee you once Supercross 4 comes out, I guarantee you that game's probably going to have some fucking issues too. I just don't understand why the community has got to be so fucking hateful towards the developer and so fucking, rude towards everybody, right? So that's my opinions on the community, I guess, and the state of the game. So now I'm going to talk a little bit more about the type of players that I've found in multiplayer races, right? So just to warn people as to what's to come. And this isn't a dog on anybody. This isn't a dog on, Milestone or anything. It's not their fault. This is just me simply making an observation about the way that people play the game, right? So the way that the 3 main people that I have found in the game, in multiplayer lobbies, right? Number 1 is the absolute fucking 100% dog water ass cheeks douche canoes, right? The dudes who play the games like they're a fucking demo derby and that everybody's in their way, and if you don't get out of my way, I'm going to make you get out of my way kind of shit, right? You take an inside rut, they come inside of you and they fucking completely boot you out of the inside rut and your entire flow is fucked, right? You're right side by side with them, going off of a jump, they'll fucking tail whip and send you off flying off the track, right? So that's the number 1 player that I've found that plays this game in multiplayer lobbies, right? So The number 2 player that I've found in multiplayer are the people that aren't necessarily riding dirty. They're just riding like absolute fucking psychos, and they cannot pick a line to save their life. I can't count how many times I've ran into a player like this. It's not nearly as much as the douche canoe trash tier fucking go live in a trash can garbage ass fucking you're slow as shit. The only way that you can try and win is turn it into a demo derby ass kids that I mentioned earlier. These guys, they're not necessarily riding dirty. They're just riding like an absolute fucking spaz, like a tornado running through a fucking trailer park type shit, right? So they don't know really what's going on, and they haven't really got a hang of the physics yet, so they can't really pick a line, and they're kind of weaving like back and forth on the track, and you can't get around them because you just can't predict their next movements, right? So that's the second player that I found. And the third player that I found, which is I feel like falls under my category, I do tend to accidentally end up kind of losing my grip of the physics, and I'll end up kind of riding like a spaz, and it'll seem like I'm riding dirty, but I'm really trying not to, right? So the third player that I've found, which I feel like falls under my category, fairly well, but this is, humble brag type shit, I guess, is the players that purposely try to ride you, race you clean, but they're probably like the fastest dudes on the track, right? So if they're fairly fast. They're not slow by any means, right? They're not slow like the first player that I mentioned, or the second player. They can be fast, but they just haven't grasped the physics yet, right? So they're probably some of the fastest dudes in the lobby, and they try to race you clean. And if you don't race them clean, they basically will race you how you race them, or they'll still try and race you clean and basically just watch you take yourself out while you're trying to fucking turn the race into a demo derby. So that is the 3 categories of players that I have found that play this game, right? So we got the spastic ass fucking demo derby douche canoe. We've got the tornado through a trailer park fucking spaz that doesn't know what the fuck's going on. And we've got the dudes who try to race you clean, and if they can get in front of all the bullshit, all of the demo derby shit, they're fucking gone. Like, you're not going to catch them, right? Unless you are one of those people and you both break out of the bullshit zone at the same time, which happened to me once when I was racing one of my buddies by the name of Jackal. And he's fast as shit, and he races you clean, and that was probably the most fun I had playing this game. So the most fun you can have playing this game is if you find somebody who races similar to you. If you're a clean racer, if you race like a douche, then you're never gonna have fun with the game, right? So if you race clean and you find another racer of a similar speed that races clean, you are going to have a fucking blast with this game, right? So that's something else I wanted to talk about, and so that basically, all in all, I feel like it's not a bad game, and they're going to work on it. They're gonna push out these updates, get some more content out to the players and stuff. And I feel like that's how the game's the life cycle is gonna go. It's gonna be the same sort of story as GP 2019, where it's like, complete shit show at the beginning, nobody likes it, and towards the end of the life cycle, it literally turned into my favorite MXGP game, right? So that's what's going on. The last thing that I want to address before I tell you guys about the clip that's going to be at the end of the video, which I'm probably going to move that voice clip over to the front of the video so that you guys already know about it, so you guys can just skip to it if you want to watch that first, and then listen to me rant and ramble for fucking 20 plus minutes. The other thing that I wanted to address is that I feel like this game kind of marked the end of an era on PC racing games, or like PC milestone games, right? So I'm in 2 separate Discord servers for like race championships, and the DMR guys. They're the ones that I started with, and they started with I started racing their championships in the MXGP 2019 days, and then they did an MESX 3 championship that I wasn't actually able to be a part of because I got the game late. And I feel like this game kind of marked the end of an era, because the other Discord server that I'm in is the team Let's Ride. Those guys, super cool guys, a lot of them. Actually, 2 of the guys that are on the team, the co-founders of the team, used to be on my team before, my entire life fucking fell apart, and I had to basically dismantle the team. They're super cool guys. I've got nothing but respect for them. But they were doing a MXGP 2020 championship, and the first round was it was just a complete shit show. So, and by what I mean by it was a shit show is I mean that like they got enough of a turnout to where they thought they were going to be able to do two separate classes, a 450 class and a 250 class. I joined the 250 class with my roommate because this was going to be his first ever championship, and I wanted him to have fun. I wanted to join the class that he joins, so that he would have somebody that he knows that's in the same class and everything, right? And they were running it to where there was only one main event. It wasn't broken up into classes. There wasn't an A and a B class. It was just 450s and 250s. If you didn't make the main event, you were fucked, right? So what I mean by it was a shit show is the 250s guys did everything they were supposed to do. They did their like 15-minute qualifier race for the lap times to determine, you know, who goes straight to the main and who has to race in the LCQ. They did the 250 guys didn't have enough of a turnout to where the 250 guys could do an LCQ. So basically, everybody immediately made it to the main event. And then for the main event, all of the 250 guys, we did our 2 30-minute motos, right? That's how LR was wanting to do this. The 450s guys did their qualifying moto, and then they realized they didn't really want to play the fucking game. They weren't having fun, and so they decided to do one 15-minute moto instead of 2 30-minute motos like the 250s guys did, where we just stuck it out, we fucking went for it, and we grinded it out. They only did one 15-minute moto, which is kind of a cop-out, right? So they realized that, you know, we don't have nearly enough of a turnout for us to have two separate classes, so we're just going to merge the two classes and do a 450 class. And then I suggested to one of my buddies, who's actually the co-founder of the team and one of the guys that was running the championship, and I recommended to him to break it up into an A class and a B class so that the slower guys would be able to race with slower guys and still have fun and gain points, whereas the fast guys would be in a fast guys lobby and they would all just be able to battle it out and have fun as well. I wanted to make it to where even the slow guys were able to have fun and feel like they were gaining points in the championship and had a reason to play, right? Because otherwise, if you just do it whereas there's like only one main event, half of your fucking player base for that championship has gone out the window right then and there, because they're going to get bored and they're not going to want to do it because they realize they can't make it to a main event. If they're not like one of those fucking diehards that's like, dude, I have to keep grinding, I got to make it to a main event kind of thing, right? And most people, when it comes to games like this, they don't have that kind of mindset. So I feared that the slower guys, myself included and my roommate included, we were going to get bored really quick because we knew we weren't going to be able to make the main events. So I recommended to break it up into an A and a B class. They listened. They did that. Thank you so much, Raz. I appreciate that. Like, you guys were, like, that was awesome of you to, like, kind of listen to, you know, community feedback. And then we find out, like, a week later or, like, you know, a few days later that they're dropping the championship entirely. And they're going to just focus on their MX Bikes championships. And MX Bikes, if you don't know, is a motocross sim game, like a simulator game, similar to MX Sim, but it's like the younger brother to MX Sim, and everybody prefers that over MX Sim at the moment, from my understanding anyway. I have the game. I don't really play it a whole lot. I'm not that good at it. I kind of fell behind with all the mods that you have to play certain tracks or, you know, use certain bikes and blah blah blah. It's like, it's a whole shit show, right? And no disrespect to the LR guys, like, you know, they definitely would know what's better for their championships and their community than I would, because I'm, you know, obviously not on the team. I'm not one of the people running the championship, so I don't have a say in that. But I feel like them dropping the MXGP 2020 championship entirely, DMR refusing to do an MXGP 2020 championship because everybody just doesn't like the game, I guess, and there being no championships for the milestone games in the foreseeable future for LR, and DMR basically saying, I don't know, we'll do an MASX championship maybe when it comes out, who knows. I feel like it's the end of an era as far as like PC players having their own championships. Like, I know that Xbox and PS4 have their own championships for the milestone games, and, you know, that's where the majority of the community is. But I feel like everybody kind of straying away from the milestone games just because they played it for 30 fucking minutes and didn't like it is marking the end of an era to where all of the PC championships on motocross related games are either going to switch over to older games like MX versus ATV Reflex or whatever, or they're going to just strictly move on to sim games like MX Bikes and MX Sim. So that kind of marks the end of an era. The only way that I would be able to find a PC milestone like MXGP 2020 championship, I found one that's based out of like France. Can't read a fucking word of their website because it's all in French. And or me and my team are gonna have to fucking start a championship. And I feel like we wouldn't have the manpower to be able to pull off, as much of a fun championship as, say DMR or LR, because those guys have more members on their team, more guys that are willing to, play the games that they want to do championships on and, be a part of it. Whereas my team, we've got 2 inactives that hardly ever even talk to the team, let alone play MX games anymore. And then we've got me, my roommate, and our graphics designer guy, and those are like the main 3 guys on the team. We have 3 guys. Like DMR's got like 8. You know what I mean? Like I feel like those guys would be able to be the ones to pull off championships like that. Whereas if my team, decided to try and start marketing for us doing a championship, either we wouldn't be able to run it to everybody's liking, or we wouldn't have the manpower to be able to run it consistently. You know what I mean? So I feel like this basically marks the end of an era as far as motocross, like milestone motocross and supercross games having PC championships. I feel like it's all probably going to move over to MX Bikes, where LR are basically like the kings of those fucking championships right now. DMR's basically stayed stagnant ever since MESX3 ended. And I feel like the entire community is kind of at a standstill right now, which sucks. But nevertheless, basically my entire review on the game is it's not bad. If you do have it and you don't enjoy it now, give it some time. Give Milestone some time to iron out the issues and put out the content that that the game's lacking at the moment. And if you don't have the game yet, but you're looking at buying it, you could either buy it now and wait, and give them time to fix it, or you could go and buy one of those older MXGP games like MXGP 2019, MXGP 3, shit like that. Don't buy Pro. Pro is ass. Or you could, and then after you buy one of those older games, you could wait, and then a few months down the road, you could buy MXGP 2020 to see if it's fixed as shit, and the Milestone has updated the game and fixed a lot of the main gripes of the game. So those are kind of like the 2 options. In my opinion, I don't feel like the game is that bad. I don't feel like the game is in a horrible state right now. I feel like the game's actually doing fairly well for a year where the entire world was plagued by fucking COVID-19, especially Italy being hit the hardest. I feel like the game's actually not half bad for the entire year being a complete fucking shit show. You know what I mean? So, with all of that said, it's up to you guys, whether you want to buy the game, whether you want to play the game, whether you want to give them a chance, get a refund, whatever. That's kind of my opinions on the Milestone games, and MXGP 2020, what they've been doing with it, and how the game released, and the state that it's in right now. Yeah, so if you guys made it this far into the video, which I doubt any of you did, and I don't expect any of you to, because this is a long-ass video. I'm literally seeing that it's creeping up on it. I literally just hit 35 minutes. If you guys made it this far into the video, which I don't expect you guys to, again, if you did, thank you so much for watching the entire video. I appreciate all of you guys. If you guys want to see more, motocross related content, leave a comment down below. Let me know what games you guys want me to play, what kind of, content you guys would like to see as far as these games are, as far as these games go. And, yeah, that was basically my, 30+ minute rant of the new MXGP game released by Milestone, And if you guys didn't make it this far into the video, then I understand, you know what I mean? Like, it's a 30-minute video. Nobody wants to watch a 30-minute video for no fucking reason of just some guy rambling the entire time. I don't expect this video to do well, or gain any traction. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. I hope your holidays were great, and I hope your 2021 is twice as good as your 2020 was. And yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say. So I will catch you guys in the next video. Later, nerds. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. I'm not paying attention. Hold on. Wait. Everybody relax. Relax. What color do you want? Yellow, he said. Okay. There's yellow. Okay, and then, holy fucking shit! God damn!
I'm sitting right here.
You guys are killing me!
Alright, how many times is that? How many times did we get him, boys?
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
We got him.
Okay, so that's what here he did. So I did that one. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13, and to change the color of my background light. So what color you want?
I want blue.
Blue it is, without stuttering. Oh my god.
The apocalypse is upon us.
13 shout outs, poggers. Somebody better clip this shit. You can count? Okay. Don't forget to use code Modo at checkout at rogueenergy.com for 10% off of any Rogue product. Don't forget to use code Modo at checkout of rogueenergy.com for 10% off of any Rogue product. Don't forget to use code Modo at checkout at rogueenergy.com for 10% off of all Rogue products. Don't forget to use code Modo at checkout for 10% off of all Rogue products. Don't forget to use code Modo at checkout at rogueenergy.com for 10% off of Rogue products.
You're doing so much harder right now. You're doing
Don't forget to use code Modo at checkout at rogueenergy.com for 10% off of Rogue products. Don't forget to use code Modo at checkout at rogueenergy.com for 10% off of Rogue products. Holy fuck, how did I do that?
That was so fast.
That was so good.
Dude, I swear your M&M just broke out.
I'm a fucking auctioneer, my dude.
Your knees weak.
Knees weak, arms are heavy, 10% off of fucking Rogue Energy.
That's like the right?
Yeah, sure. Don't forget to use code Modo at checkout for 10% off Rogue products at rogueenergy.com. Don't forget to use code Modo at checkout at rogueenergy.com for 10% off of all Rogue Energy products. Is that how many do I got? 10? Okay. Don't forget to use code Modo at checkout at rogueenergy.com for 10% off of Rogue products. Don't forget to use code Modo at checkout at rogueenergy.com for 10% off of Rogue products. Don't forget to use code Modo at checkout for Rogue Energy at the products at rogueenergy.com. 10% off. I botched that one. Do we need to redo that one? Well, yeah, I know, but do we need to redo? Should we redo that one? Okay. Don't forget to use the code Modo at checkout at rogueenergy.com for 10% off of Rogue products. Don't forget to use code Modo at checkout at rogueenergy.com for 10% off of all Rogue products. We're gonna get to 15 just for good measure. Don't forget to use code Modo at checkout at rogueenergy.com for 10% off of Rogue products. Did I do good? That's a clip and a half, bro.
You just got it.
Bro, that is a clip, and I'm linking that on Twitter, and I'm adding fucking.
Somebody clip it. Clip it.
I'm gonna take the link of that clip, and I'm gonna fucking post that on Twitter, and I'm going to @ Rogue Energy for it. Local streamer shouts out his sponsor 13 times.
Local streamer.
What the fuck?